Welcome to the 10th lecture of the series of communication and personality development. I, Ratnabha Saha, will be the host and host of today's session. Before we move on in today's session, let me tell you something. Those who have watched the 8th and 9th video of this series on Merit Shine, they will be able to understand what we are doing today, because today's session is a link between the 8th and the 9th session, right? But those who have not watched the 8th and 9th video on the Merit Shine channel, they are requested to first go and watch those first and then come to this video, right? Because today we are going to make a flowchart out of our HAPI-G. Now, but then for that you should know what is HAPI-G, which is the video 8th, and what is flowchart, which is the lecture 9th of this series. Okay, so let's start. Today we are calling someone for our help here. We have a guest here today. Who is she? I'll tell you. She is one of the characters from my book. Right? My book GD-PI Handbook is about 7 friends who are preparing for group discussion, personal interviews, and the second round of the selection process. One of them is Commerce Jan. She is a commerce graduate, right? She is called CJ by her friends, and we will also call her by that name. She is in a final year BCom, and why is she preparing for interviews? Because she has a call for IIM Calcutta. Now let's help CJ make her flowchart, and in that process we will also learn how to convert our HAPI-G to flowchart, right? Okay, so today's agenda is to help CJ prepare her interview preparation flowchart from her HAPI-G activity results, right? Okay, let's get started. We'll have 8 steps in which we will take the HAPI-G results and consolidate it to the flowchart. Now, these 8 steps would come in the form of one task to CJ. CJ would respond to them. We will number these responses, record and analyze these responses, right? So that we can refer them back. And then we will fit it into the scheme of the flowchart. Right? So this is what we are going to do today. Is it clear? Okay. So let's start today. So the first step is step 1. Write down your goal or dream. So let's see what CJ does. But before we move on, I'll give some hint to CJ so that she can take the necessary areas from her HAPI-G and put it down as a result in this particular response. CJ, you have already written it in the HAPI-G draft, so refer to the task 10 of personality and you will get the result. So let's see what CJ is responding. CJ is thinking. Okay. Is CJ ready? Yes, she is ready. Now, this is her response. 10 years down the line, I see myself as a successful businesswoman where I'll not only be handling cross-functional roles, but also planning and executing profitability goals for my unit. Wow, good. So CJ has come prepared. Her HAPI-G is prepared well. So, okay. So let's see. Let's analyze. First, analyze the response 1. Now, you see, friends, here, at this point of career, CJ does not know the different designation and job responsibilities that go with it. So, what has CJ done? CJ has listed only the responsibilities. Now, if you see here, she has listed the responsibilities, but she has not spoken about designation, right? Because she does not know, so she should not speak about designation as such. So what she has essentially done is, in corporate jargon, this is what a middle level manager does. The responsibility set that she has shown here is something that a middle level manager does. So that is what the response 1 was. Now let us see what she does when I give her the step 2. Step 2, CJ, list down the skills required to achieve your goal or to realize your dream. Okay. This is your task. Now, I will give you a hint also, CJ. You see, you can think of those kind of activities which are performed by a person who is at that position where you want to be, right? Okay, so let's see. Now it's time for your response. Let's see, friends, whether CJ is able to frame a response out of it. Okay, yes, CJ is ready now. A middle level manager should have team building skills, operation and budget management skills, and sales and marketing skills. He should also have manpower skills, ability to plan long term and resolve conflict. Apart from these, he should have strong work ethics, should be able to multitask and handle stress. Strong adaptability and learning quotient would also be desirable. Good, good. So, we will now respond to, analyze the response that CJ has given here. Now, here the analysis would be to list down all the skills that CJ has given point wise, right? So, let's see. Let's number the skills listed by CJ. First, team building. Second, operations and budget management. Third, sales and marketing. Fourth, manpower planning. Fifth, long-term planning. Sixth, conflict resolution. Seventh, maintaining fair practices and strong work ethics. Good. Eighth, multitasking. Ninth, stress management. And 10th, strong adaptability and learning quotient. You see, friends, here CJ was able to give such a detailed idea about her goal statement because she has prepared her HAPI-G well. So that's the key. Prepare your HAPI-G well and your flowchart would just be cakewalk. So now we move on to step 3. Let's see. CJ, list down what you have learned from your school and college. My hint to you would be, take help of the responses that you have written for task 3 and task 5 of academics of HAPI-G, right? So now start off. CJ is responding and her response comes now. Okay. All through my school, she says, all through my school and college, I have performed quite well academically. My commitment towards good academic scores has imbibed in me over a period of time a strong work ethic and made me a more responsible person. In my college, I am very active in projects and have done some good internship. These experiences have put me in different environmental conditions with different people, thereby improving my team skills a lot. Good. Now let's analyze her response. So analysis of response 3 would be in this way, that we will list down the skills that have been acquired by CJ from school and college. Skill 1, team building. Skill 7, maintaining fair practices and strong work ethics. So you see talents that CJ has acquired skill 1, that is team building, from her school and college activities, and skill 7 from her school and college activities, right? So also here I like to tell those students who are having work experience, they should list down the learning from work experience too in this area, right? Okay. So now let's move on to the next step. Step 4. CJ, now you list down what you have learned from your friends and family. I can give you a hint. The hint will be, for this you can take the help of the responses that you have written in your personality segment of HAPI-G. Okay, let me see what CJ does. Okay, now CJ's response. Yes. Now, CJ is saying, I've seen my mother juggling her profession and household with great expertise. Even after being a working woman, she did not let me feel that she is unavailable. I have learned the value of multitasking from her so that we can give our 100% both to our professional and personal life. As far as my friends go, I have been lucky to get some very good friends both in my school and college life. My network of friends being large and diverse, a lot of times I was in a situation where there were conflicts between my friends. My active involvement resolving these conflicts have made me a person who do not shy away from conflicting situation. Now this is very important. You know, what you have learned from your friends and family is very important. So now let's analyze the response. Okay, CJ has done a very good job. Now the building block skills that CJ has imbibed from friends and family are: 1. Skill 6, conflict resolution, and skill 8, multitasking from her mother, right? Now let's come to the next building block, right? So we have now done friends and family, we have now done the school and college learning. Now we move on to the next building block, and the next building block in our flow chart was, yes, interests and strengths. So CJ, write down the interests and strengths. I'll give you a hint here also. You see, for this you refer to task 3 and task 4 in the hobbies segment, and task 1 and task 2 in the personality segment. Okay. Okay, let's now wait for CJ's response. Yeah, CJ's response is there. If my co-curricular activities have made me learn the importance of team effort, my interest in sports, especially basketball, has made me a team player. The spirit of responsibility that my hobby has imbibed in me is very valuable to me. I am a movie lover also, and therefore, especially in the thrillers and comedy genre, both Bollywood and Hollywood, and so this is a great stress buster. My love for movies can sell me through the most difficult of times. One strength that has not been discussed till now has been my interest towards new things from diverse fields, especially economics, management history, and contemporary politics of the country. This in turn has created a new hobby for me, which is reading. Good. You see, CJ has plucked up, as I was telling in the last lecture, she has plucked up all the responses from HAPI-G and then she has put in here. Very good, CJ. This shows that you have worked hard on your HAPI-G. Now let's analyze the response number 5. Now, the skills that CJ has imbibed from her hobbies are: 1. Team building, and secondly, skill 9, stress management. This is from her love for movies. Skill 10, from her internal strength of deep interest in new things, she has got strong adaptability and learning quotient. Now let's go to step 6. In step 6, we will consolidate. And what is the consolidation activity? Now in the whatever you did in step 3 and 4 and 5, make a summary of it and take a stock of your present skill set. I'll give you a hint here also. You see, here the hint is that you can list the skills that we have discussed till now and put you can also put numbers to identify the skills. This will become the base for your present. So now write down the skill sets summary. Okay, she is ready, I suppose. Yeah. She writes, I have developed team building skills, which is S1, conflict resolution skills S6, strong work ethics S7, multitasking S8, stress management S9, and strong adaptability and learning quotient, which is S10. In this, S7 and S10 has become part of my characteristic, whereas for the rest of the skills, the more I do, the better I will become. But yes, the orientation is in the right direction. Okay, good, very good. So let's see, what is she saying in the step 6? Let's analyze it. Here, talents, have you noticed that CJ has put some skills in a category where it needs lifelong honing, whereas skills which are more of a part of a character has been categorized in the permanent segment. This gives a clear idea how clear CJ is. So let's see what are the skills that CJ possesses currently. Skill 1, team building. Skill 6, conflict resolution. Skill 7, maintaining fair practices and strong work ethics. Now this was one of the permanent ones. Skill 8, multitasking. Skill 9, stress management. And skill 10, strong adaptability and learning quotient. Now see, skill 10 is also another one of her permanent skills, whereas skill 1, 6, 8 and 9 are things which would be better with time. The more she works, the better it would become, right? Okay, now to the step 7. CJ, list the skills that you definitely require to acquire and to make your dreams a reality. My hint here would be you will tell me about the skill sets that you definitely need to acquire in the next 10 years to reach your dream. So you can make a skill gap kind of thing here. Let's see what CJ is responding. Okay, she is saying I need to develop operations and budget management skills, which was S2, sales and marketing skills, which was skill 3, manpower planning skills, which was skill 4, and long term business planning, which was skill 5. She says I have no experience of doing these tasks, therefore I will need a platform where I will not only learn about the ways of doing these tasks but also get the hands-on experience to do them. Now let's move on to the analysis of response the response 7. Skill that CJ needs to acquire: skill 2, operation and budget management skills; skill 3, sales and marketing skills; skill 4, manpower planning skills, right? And skill 5, long term planning skills. So you see, what we are essentially doing, I am enjoying it. We are essentially helping CJ predict how she should move forward to realize her goal, right? Now we will, this is the skill gap. This is the skill gap of CJ. Now we will move forward to the task 8, the step 8 and the last task. CJ, how will you acquire these skills? My hint here would be think on the lines of your skill gap and then respond. Take your time. Now CJ is thinking. Let's see what she comes up with. Yes, she has come up with an answer. My interest in business management coupled with a professional course where I will get opportunity to learn the various aspects of business decision making process in a compiled and comprehensive time frame will make me fit to enter the job market as an entry-level management graduate. Now, the best available professional course in that respect is definitely MBA, but all the learning will be of no use if I am not in a position to use them in a day-to-day life, and there is the opportunity to work in a management firm after MBA, and the corresponding working experience that I will gather from there will be enough to make me prepared in these required skills. These are the primary requirements that MBA and job after MBA will fulfill to help me realize my dreams. Obviously, this period will also be the time and opportunity where I will capitalize on my already present skills to make them better. Very good. So you see, she has fulfilled the skill gap with a very smart answer, right? So now let's analyze the response 8, and that we would do by completing CJ's flowchart. So let's start off with CJ's flowchart. CJ is a skill at present at left bottom corner and skills to reach here at the right topmost right corner. So skills that she has now are S1, S6, S7, S8, S9 and skill 10. We have already discussed which were they, and the skills that she needs to reach there is S2, S3, S4 and S5. Right now, this is the S2, S3, S4, S5 is the skill gap, and this skill gap is something that she needs to manage or fulfill. Now, this becomes CJ's flowchart. You see, such a beautiful, simple one place from where all your interview queries can be solved. Right? So, let us see whether we are able to sort of answer the question that comes in interview from this flowchart. First, as I have already put in here, is how will your friends describe you? Now, this can be answered from the response 3, 4, 5 of the flowchart. Of the flowcharts, response 3, 4, 5, we can just answer this question very easily. Second question, why do you want to do an MBA? Right, we are at this point of time, we are essentially checking whether our flowchart works or not, right. So, why do you want to do an MBA? Response 8 will give the answer to it. The response 8 is a beautifully made answer for just this purpose. Then describe your family background. Now here what CJ can do is she can take response 4 which will directly answer this, but you should always remember, and this is to everyone, right, that always use the qualitative aspects of your family or friends while responding to this question. Don't say things like my father is a teacher and you know, my mother is a housewife, my brother works here. So that data is of no use. Yes, your father is a teacher and therefore you have learned something from him is something of use, right? Next question, how do you define success? How can CJ answer this question? Let's think. Response 1 will be perfectly fitting out here, right? Okay, now let's see. How will you achieve your goal? How can CJ answer this? I think that CJ will be able to answer by giving the summary. You remember in one of the steps we did this summary of CJ's present till CJ's dream, and this will be the part of her answer in this. How will you achieve your goal? You see, all of the question that comes can be answered from the flow chart except some, right? We will come to that, but most of the question that comes in your HR interview will be very easily be answered through the flow chart. Now, what is your weakness? I said no, there are some that would not be there. Now, this flow chart does not have an answer to this. Who has? The HAPI-G activity. The HAPI-G activity has the answer to this, not the flow chart. You see, what is HAPI-G for? HAPI-G was for consolidating the huge variety of questions that can happen to us from our life into 5 major areas, HAPI and G. Whereas flow chart was to consolidate it further, right, summarizing it further and to bring consistency in our narration, right. So, whenever we have a lot of time to prepare, what should we pick up first? We should pick up to revise, when we have a lot of time to prepare, to revise, what should we pick up? We should pick up HAPI-G. But our interview is 1 day from here, right? Then what should we do? We have to rehearse, and to rehearse, HAPI-G is not something that we should pick up. We should pick up flowchart. And this is so simple. To revise, HAPI-G, to rehearse, flowchart. That's it. And that would answer all your interview questions which would come to you from your area, your life, your interest, your hobbies, everything, right? Okay, so remember this, to revise, HAPI-G, to rehearse, flowchart, right? Okay, so that would be all for today. If you want to see these concepts in more detail, you can refer to my book GD-PI Handbook, which is now available in Amazon, and the link of that Amazon link is given in the description column of this video. So that would be all for today. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks a lot and all the best.